What's up, y'all? It's your boy T Money. If y'all want to go by my government, it's Terrence. I'm not going to give y'all my whole name due to governmental issues and things like that. But today we're going to talk about why the government is our daddy. Yes, even as adults, the government is our daddy. Because when you are born, when we are all born, we have biological parents. And when you have those biological parents, and when you do something wrong, what do? You get punished. You get told no. And you get put on punishment and things like that. So, with our government and the way it is now, when you step out of line, such as with jobs, or if you don't pay your taxes, something man-made, you get punished. And even with jobs, if you do not do the proper steps or the proper process in order to get a day off, say you got an appointment or something to handle, if you do not do what you are meant to do, then you get punished. So, we, the people, the government is our daddy, and damn it, we running out of Similac, bitch, because this shit is getting, it's been getting out of hand for a while now, but it's just slowly has gotten worse until up to 2020, just around when COVID first started. And now, since then, it's tremendously jumped. I mean, like tremendously jumped from COVID times to now, from 2020 to 2025 now. Because I know it's not just me, because back then, things were so much more affordable. Things as far as like appliances and goodies, things we didn't need other than like household items or paying rent, those things were cheap. But appliances and everything else like that, things we didn't necessarily need, those were always expensive. And now we've gotten to a point where everything is cheap. Cheaply made, cheap as in doesn't last long. Everything is cheap. The work pay is cheap. So the moral of this story is that the government is our daddy. And do we just deal with that? Are we just supposed to take that, or what do we do? Because we have to come as a people, we have to come together as a collective and figure this shit the fuck out. Because long gone are those days back when I worked my million factory jobs and people would just say, oh, well, you don't like the money that you make? Well, get a new job or just work harder, work more, give the man more of your time and things will be all right. Well, shit, I worked at a place called Graphic Packaging, that makes the lids for just about any restaurant you can think of. Starbucks, Wendy's, all your fast food places for sure. Some restaurants, look into it. It's called Graphic Packaging. They make lids, the cups for the lids for the cups. They make those for every single business. And they don't do anything less than 12 hours a day. You have to do 12 hours. You have to. Every single day. Even the overtime is 12 hours. And that was docked at the time when I was there, that was me at 18 an hour and getting paid bi-weekly. So my checks was like 1,100, maybe, possibly. So you mean to tell me that with that amount of money that I would have been making back in, like, let's just say 2010, 2011, that would damn sure get someone by. But now, you mean to tell me after all of the bills and utilities and blah, 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 you left with like $400. Then you got the man going into your pocket and getting to the money before you even get to it, which we all are aware of that. But that's still a problem that needs to be addressed, because my thing has always been, okay, FICA, Social Security, what the hell even is FICA? Social Security, though, I feel like that should be something that the person The beneficiary receiving the money, it should be their choice, their option. What if I don't want money to go to Social Security? I'm part of the millennials. I was born in 92. Meaning, and with the way that the government is right now, man, crying out loud, we in the middle of a government shutdown. What if I don't want my money to be going to Social Security? What if I don't believe by the time I'm that old, if I even live that long, that my Social Security will even be anything anymore? We are on the cusp of a digital ID. You hearing me? Digital ID. So that means if we are on the cusp of a digital ID, that bullshit ass 401, the bullshit ass Social Security does not matter. I'm 32 now. So that means if I worked for the next 40 years, we already going through these things now. We ain't even talking about 40 years later from now. So that means cash will definitely be obsolete and a thing of the past in 40 years. So who's to say in the process of that, in the next even 10 years, we're going to be ran by AI. The cash is going to be gone. There's not going to be anything traditional anymore. Everything is going to be ran by AI and computers. Larry Ellison is one of the top owners of all of these networks, CNN or a lot of these news networks as well. He's put his son David Ellison in place of running. I believe his son is like also in possession of some networks himself. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but you can look into it. These are one of the main two people who are responsible for a lot of the things, propaganda that we're getting pushed on us through these networks, being one of the news stations being one of them, because Larry Ellison also owns, I believe it's CNN or CBS, one of those. Then he's actually in the process of trying to get Warner Brothers as well. I don't understand how one man can have all of this power. if you catch my drift, if you know that song. We ain't talking about Kanye though. But that's besides the point. The point is by the time that I'm that old, none of these things will be the same. There probably won't even be a such thing as a Social Security anymore or 401. So these Gen Zers, they're coming into this world and going to be born, the new ones are going to be born into a cashless society. They're not going to know nothing about cash. Nothing. They're going to be born into a world where AI is going to be their best friend. I mean, shit, they might even have a robotic dog. You know the robotic dogs that they already have. They will be brought into this world thinking that is man's best friend, right? So by the time I'm that old, things might not even be the same. So why the hell do I need to give a damn about Social Security or anything for that matter like that? So when we are born into this world, our Social Security numbers is our slave number. So we are doomed from the jump, off the dribble. My guy, we are doomed. So government has always been our daddy. They just started revealing their hand a lot more since. Because back then, it seemed like we had a way more free time, didn't it? Seemed like we had a lot less to worry about, didn't it? But that's because we always had to have things to worry about. But the government wasn't showing its hand the way it is now. We were not getting sprayed with chemtrails as much as we are now. So government is our daddy because you say, oh, well, you don't like it. Work more. Okay, did that. When you work more, we all know the slogan. You work more, they take more. So you want to work more and give more hours to the man? That's just going to take more out of your final product when you get your paycheck. So, and at the end of the day, who the hell decided to fucking allow them to go in our money without asking us before we can even get to it? Hey, the IRS, the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, I'm pretty sure it has to do with them. But either way, the government is our daddy, because if you do not agree with that, then what do? You quit, say you're not getting along with somebody at work, say you got a problem with the supervisor or the manager, you quit, and guess what? You got to go apply for another man's job, something that is not going to give you fulfillment and make you happy. Because a lot of the time when people get these jobs, they get jobs in something that they're not even happy with, It's just a simple matter of the fact we need something to survive, because it's no more are the days about working, about living to work. It is, we have to live, we have to work to live now. Period. We have to work to live. Another prime example of how the government is our daddy, because if that was not the case, they would make sure that our wages were good enough to even to where if you work at a job at fast food, the wage would be at least semi-adequate enough to get by. At least to get by, not struggle, get by comfortably, semi-comfortably. Then, hey, you want to get a factory job or something that's a little harder work, you get paid a little bit more, then yes, then you should be able to live comfortably. But the American dream is over. That shit's over. It's dead. It's been dead. And they're making sure of that. The housing market is way too expensive. You go 10 years back, you could get a house for $200,000, maybe a little rinky-dink shack for 120, 150 maybe. But now, even your basic home is going to run you at least $300,000 and up. Car market has shot up tremendously. You can't even get a used car for no less than at least $4 to $5 grand. So, in the brand new cars, don't even get me started on that. The brand new cars are at least at least 30,000 and up. Long gone are the days for the $20,000 vehicles. So we in this society to where everything is just stacked against us. I just got something in the mail for my permission slip, my driver's license, because I got to renew my goddamn tags. $60. Why, you ask? Because the government's our daddy. Because guess what? If I don't pay that, well, you all know what happens if you don't pay that. You're going to have the road pirates come and get you. And they're going to tell you, oh, well, sir, your tags are expired. So that means your permission slip, your ID, is expired. So we're going to have to commandeer your vehicle. You're going to jail. Now you got impound fees, and now you got to get your car back and blah, blah, blah. This government, we have to understand, this government was not set up for us to win. Then you got some people who say, okay, well, shit, I make $200,000 a year, $300,000 a year. You are probably doing a job you hate. Thank the Lord you're making that much a year. That's great. Amen to that. But you probably hate it. And if you don't hate it, then you are killing yourself. You damn sure killing yourself to obtain and keep that job that you're making at $200,000 to $300,000 a year. You can't tell me you ain't, because even the celebrities, I don't believe in that. I don't have no idolization to anyone, but the celebrities, look what they do just to obtain and to keep their status and money coming in. You got some celebrities out here literally not robbing, but they're lying and swindling people out of things just to get money. Like with this gambling in these coins, these type of Bitcoins and all of these things that a lot of these influencers and celebrities came out with just to pull the rug from under you and just dip off with your money. They wouldn't be doing things like that if they wasn't hurting for money as well. So your little precious celebrities, they are also hurting. They might be quiet about it, but they're also hurting. Unless you on the status of like maybe Drake, Chris Brown level, you hurting. So government is our daddy, and they make sure of it. And now things have progressed tremendously to the point now to where, starting in the UK, they have been presented with the digital ID. I'm pretty sure y'all been hearing a bunch of chatter about that. Yes. So now the government is not only just our daddy, but if this comes into place and takes effect everywhere, because it will, these are just example countries. They just making an example out of them. But look how fast, because I think the UK was one of the first countries to start implementing a lot of those COVID laws. And look how fast that trickled down. That shit became an epidemic everywhere. And I'm not talking about the virus. I'm talking about the laws, the lockdowns, the mask wearing, the muzzling, the muzzles of shame. All of those things took effect so fast you couldn't even fucking blink. So the government is going to also become our mommy once this digital ID comes into place here. There's already been going on in China for maybe the past, who's to say, 6-7 years now. So it's normal. They already were rumoring about UBI, Universal Basic Income. Then they've astronomically took off with the AI. So they already have had it in their minds that they were going to be replacing us with AI. So government is going to be AI's daddy as well until AI starts to think for itself, iRobot, and start taking out our daddy, government. There's already I already seen a post about AI in some laboratory or something like that actually killed one of the people who was trying to shut it off in the deems of it to stop it from being shut off. So these things are already thinking for themselves. Why? Because these AI aren't driven by computers. These AI are driven by fallen entities that need a host, such as a parasite. They need a host. These AIs are being built for host. As of right now, they're being built to take our jobs. But in the long run, they're going to be built as hosts. Who's going to be able to stop a militia of AI when they start hunting people down? Who? What do you do? Nothing. The same thing that we're going through now when we get tormented and taxed to death. Who's going to be the one to step up and do anything? Because we need more than one. We need more than a village at this point. So I'm coming out with this video in the hopes of getting more people to understand that this is something such as the governmental issues, rather it's like the thing that ICE is going on with now, the way that they're doing with these illegals. We all have to be able to come together as a collective and do something about this, because I keep seeing so many videos of people saying, oh, with all these things are going on, none of you choose to do anything about it. Who's going to do something about it? Who's going to do? No one is going to just go start killing these people and throw away their lives. You get locked up, then you really can't do nothing. Now you are a slave to the state, not just a slave to the government in the workforce. Now you are a slave to the state, so you cannot help even yourself. So we're going to get nowhere just blindly running out in a feud of rage and try to make changes in the system with force. It's not going to happen that way. So the first part of it though, and this is for a lot of the Gen Zers, you have to realize your job is not a safe haven. Your job was put there to keep you distracted while they put a bunch of these laws in place under our noses without you realizing. Your job is there to keep you distracted with your little pennies. We all crabs in the bucket. So these jobs are not going to get you to where you think you need to be. Even when you try to become an influencer, they make it now to where you have to have so many requirements to even make $1 off of anything. I'm a music artist. I know this just took a, big turn, but trust me, it all ties in. I'm a music artist. I post my music on streaming platforms. There is no money to be made in that. Granted, I'm not famous or anything like that either. I don't even have a local buzz, but that's besides the point. The music speaks for itself. And I've been told by plenty of people that they support or like my music. So that's not the problem. But even with that, you make nothing. They make it to where any avenue you go after, damn near, you make nothing. Even with YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or anything like that you get paid off. The amount of views that you need to get in order to make a substantial amount of money, not crumbs, a substantial amount, it has to be fairly decent. I mean, there's people who can live off of, I don't know how the algorithm work or how, how many views equals this much money. I have a YouTube channel. but I'm not making money off of it, so I don't know how that works. But I would imagine you would need at least, let's say, 30,000, 40,000 views a video to make even $5 to $6 grand a month. And some people, me included, that's enough to be able to support yourself. But at what point does it get to where you get to a point where you can support yourself, but then our daddy comes in and keeps making more and more and more taxes? Not to mention the limitations that these apps and everything is giving you now. I mean, shit, just yesterday, I was trying to watch videos on Scarred. Y'all remember Scarred with MTV? I was trying to watch some videos on that. And the damn YouTube app told me that I needed to verify my age by putting up an ID. Y'all are smoking dope if you think I'm doing that. To put up an ID to verify my identity just to watch a video on YouTube. I tried to live stream on YouTube and it said that I needed at least 50 subscribers to do that. I made a YouTube channel years and years ago, back in like 2010. And I didn't have to have near none of these requirements to do those same exact things. You was able to monetize your channel right away back then. Right away. There was no requirements. There was no 1,000 hours of watch time and 1,000 subscribers. There was none of that. So my point is they're going to even make it hard for you people who think you found a way out with social media. They're going to even make it hard on you. Now, if you are one of those people who don't have a backbone and you're just going to break and bend over so they can tap that, every time just so you can get by, then hey, you ain't going to be hurting for nothing or miss out. You will be one of the very few who are able to continue on in life with a foot up your ass comfortably, if you think that's comfortably. Just like these celebrities, these artists, these rap artists and stuff, they are getting by barely, but that's because they're getting bent over and maybe a little bit more than that. Because I'm seeing people coming out with dresses. I don't even need to go into all that. Y'all know about the zestiness that's going on in Hollywood. But they are doing that to get by. So my point is, they are going after every avenue that you can try to go after to make a decent and comfortable living. Even the careers. Remember around COVID time, the truck drivers going through Canada, they were getting denied access to be able to drop off their load if they did not have the vaccine. A lot of people probably forgot about that. They were making them turn around because they did not have the vaccine, so they would not allow them through. So, and then you got college. You go to college. I know so many people who went to college. My sister went to college. At first, the first 3 or 4 years after her graduating, my sister was still working at her supervisor job at a restaurant and working at the hospital. She did not work in what she went to school for, though, which was business management. So there's so many people who went to college and are working jobs that have nothing to do with what they went to college for and are in debt. So even the college route, my friend, she went to college. She went to Brown Mackey. They closed down. Still to this day, and that was 14 years ago, maybe 16, 15 years ago, she still has a $20,000 debt over her head for a college that has shut down. How? That's government being daddy. Again, because how do you owe something for something that's not even non-existent anymore? The school does not even exist, and she still owes the $20,000. That is a prime example of government being daddy. They want you to report to the IRS if you make $500. If you are given $500, they want you to report that. As these billionaires and millionaires find every loophole in the book to get by, and they don't have to report anything. You notice how everything gets easier for them and it gets harder for us. There's more hoops to go through for us and less for them. Government is our daddy. Government is dad. And like I said, soon to be mom. And I know there's a lot of people out there who feel like, well, the Lord put us here for what? To just work and die? No. We were put here for a reason. And it was not to work. It was not to be rich. It was not to fall in love. It wasn't for anything human naturally that we would have looked for as a human in the flesh. We were put here to find the Lord, the one who died for our sins. We were put here to find him, to find our path of finding him. Yes, we all went through road bumps and roadblocks to get there, and we all aren't going to get there. There is a lot of people who are going to perish, and in not finding him, you know where your soul is going. But the main objective of being here, I want to clarify this for anyone who does not realize our purpose for being here. You Gen Zers, y'all feel lost, y'all feel empty, y'all like, man, all I do is work, I ain't got nothing to live for. Quit thinking like that. We were put here for a reason. The Lord supplied us with everything that we needed to live off the land and be good. But government daddy came along and stripped all of that and making you pay for it now. Making you pay for water, making you pay for air, making you pay for fruit that grows on trees, making you payola. And we can thank the creation of the Federal Reserve in 1917 for that. Government daddy. Government daddy. So the purpose of being put here, people, was to find God and realize the one who died on the cross for our sins so that we could find salvation. And he says, you have to endure to the end. So we're going to have to go through hardships. We're going to lose people. We're going to lose loved ones. It's not going to be easy. He didn't say it was going to be easy, but that is our main objective, is to make it to the kingdom, to make it and have your name put in the life of, to have your name put in the book of life. That is the main objective. To be amongst the 10 tribes, that is our main objective, is to find the Lord, make it, and try to overcome and have discernment. A lot of these people who's going through this torment of this everyday life struggle, they do not have discernment. You know, like the movie They Live, as soon as he takes off the glasses, he can see everything that daddy government is doing, the truth. You have to be able to see through these things in order to realize your true calling, because if not, you are going to be thrown into this turnabout with everyone else who feels like they have no mission. They're just put here to work and die. And that is pretty much how daddy government is making it, to where you have to work and die. That's all they want. They want worker bees, because if they did not, we will not be born with a slave number as a baby. We do not need a social security number. They say, oh, well, somebody commits a crime, it's to tie them back to this and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. No, we were all given a slave number. That's it. That's so they can keep track of you, not to keep track of you and your record and your crimes, and just to keep track of you, to make sure when you are in this man world working, giving man all your time, they know who to come after when they are due, when they think that they're due money. That social security number is there to be able to follow you. It's a footprint to follow you through your whole life of working, so that they can tax you, because without that slave number, they cannot tax you. You could say that you died without a social security / slave number. You can say you died and go disappear to Mexico or Barbados or something and become a whole new person and be tax free and save all of your pieces of paper, because it's not real money, and be good. They were aware of this. This is why we have slave numbers. But back to why our purpose of being here. We also know, and even Hegseth just came out and said it, they do not want fat, overweight people in the military. They do not want people who have a bunch of medical issues in the military. Well, do you think the Lord wants weak people in his army? No, he does not. He wants the ones who are going to endure to the end and keep his word and commandments. Because you cannot be weak-minded. You can't. The Lord does not want weak-spirited people that are lukewarm. We're all going to have our fights with Satan and lust and sin. We're all going to have that. I'm not saying you got to be perfect, because no one is except the Lord and his son. But our main goal, people, y'all got to understand, that is our main goal, is to be able to make it into the kingdom and have your name written in the book of life. Your fancy cars, your mansion, you see the rappers be holding up money like this, doing the money spread and all that. What does that buy you when you are in fire and brimstone? Your money is not going to be able to buy you out of that eternity of hell and torture and torment. Your money spreads and all of that is not going to save you, my boy. It's not. That is not why we were put here. The people who are put here thinking that we were supposed to serve money, because that is a thing. You can have money as your God. You can look at money as your God. You may say, no, I serve the Lord. I just like money, or I just need money. I gotta have money. When all you can think about, when you prioritize money over even your life, let alone God or your kids, money is your God. Even if you put God first and then money second, but then all you talk about is money. You need money. You got to chase the bag. You got to get to it. Blah, blah, blah. You got to get to the chicken. Money is your God. Money is your God. And again, daddy government has made it that way. He wants you to serve money. They want you to put in 1,000 hours a week for money, just so you can get nowhere. So I just wanted to make a video saying, in order to make a change in this pretty much game and having daddy government around, we all have to come together to do something about this, because going back and forth with each other about useless topics and things like that, and debating about politics, none of that matters. None of that matters, because as you can see, the politicians are still going to get paid, which is with taxpayer dollars, by the way. They're still going to get paid. But guess what? When daddy government steps in, such as the people who's getting furloughed, these federal workers who are getting furloughed, Trump is trying to make it to where they do not get compensated. Like, it doesn't, if that's not opening your eyes to a daddy government, then I don't know what to tell y'all. So y'all got to keep your eyes open and peeled. You got to keep your head on a swivel. You know what I'm saying? You can't be out here sloppy. We all need to get on our exercise and be fit as well, because when the time comes to fight, if we're going to come together as a collective and do something about this, the way things are being done and ran, you have to be in shape. You have to be able to run a mile, a half a mile. You have to be able to at least do that. We got to be strong out here. We can't be out here lacking. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger, but we need to be fit. You need to be mentally fit. You need to be physically fit. You got to be spiritually fit. So I just wanted to come through and put out a video letting y'all know, like, we got a higher calling for being here. Don't think that it's just to work and die. Don't think that, you know, that we was just put here to suffer and like there's nothing behind that, and you want to off yourself because, no, that's Satan in your mind getting the best of you. You got to realize your higher calling is to find the Lord, to find him. He is the way, the truth, and the life. So, in the door, his son is the door. So you got to come to the son before you can even get to him. So that was why we were put here. Our main objective. Do not let daddy government tell you otherwise. We was not put here to serve idols and worship idols. We were not put here to serve money. What good does it serve a man to serve money your whole life, and you cannot take your riches to heaven? You can have all the millions and billions in the world you want, but if you cannot take that with you, why serve it as your God? Yes, it is a means or a crutch to get by, but it should not be your God. Because the Lord can giveth just as fast as he can taketh. So y'all gotta remember that. And he also says you'd be able to fit a camel through the eye of a needle before a rich man makes it to heaven. Y'all gotta keep that in mind. So all of these rich billionaires and millionaires that y'all are idolizing, just know they're going here. That's where they're going. So think twice before y'all go around idolizing these people that are just merely people like you. Y'all got to remember that too, real quick. These celebrities, there's nothing special about them. I mean, the shit is crazy when I see some of these women going nuts, and men, over some of these celebrities. Why? For the men, for the women, for the men who think it's because, you know, a woman's ass or anything like that, or their breast or their face. My dude, there's plenty of gorgeous women. The Lord has gave us a surplus of beautiful women. So that woman that you idolizing just because they're a celebrity, there's a million more of them that's not a celebrity. So what? So what does she have that another woman don't, that you could possibly actually be with, instead of idolizing and being Google-eyed over on TV? You feel me? And women, when y'all sitting here, like, no shade to Chris Brown, but the man had y'all paying, what was it, $1,000 to take a picture with him or something like that? Like, are you serious? There is plenty of other men who y'all could find attractive and handsome that can sing and everything, and take a picture with and actually be with, and not pay $1,000, my dude. Like, the idolizing, it just gotta stop, man. But it's just gonna become something that when we are in heaven, we all gonna have to answer for something. So it does not make you less perfect, or it doesn't make you less of a person because you have done that. You repent, ask for forgiveness, and then you just cut that shit off. You did. So it's your boy T Money, man. I wanted to make a realistic video for what's really going on. And I feel like a lot of people don't hear enough about God and the Lord. We got to understand, like, that's our main objective, people. That's our main objective. So with all that being said, it's your boy T Money. Remember, we got to stay fit mentally, spiritually, physically. T Money, gone.